In the city of Macon, central Georgia, 27-year-old Lauren Giddings, born to parents Karen and Bill, had always been close to her sisters, Sarah and Caitlin. Lauren's dream was to become a public defender. In 2008, she moved from Maryland to Mon to pursue this dream. Mon residents described the city as slow, welcoming, and peaceful. Lauren was in a long-distance relationship with David Van Diver, a corporate lawyer whom she met in Atlanta 4 years prior. Despite their age difference, they shared a strong bond. David planned to propose to her. However, their long-distance relationship faced challenges, leading to a brief breakup. During this time, Lauren briefly dated another student named Joe, but eventually realized her love for David. In June 2011, Lauren graduated from Mercy University's School of Law. She was determined to pass the Georgia bar exam and focused all her energy on preparation. After graduation, she attended her sister Caitlin's wedding in Maryland, cherishing the family time before returning to Mon to study. Lauren chose to live in Bars Hall, a residence exclusively for law students, to have easy access to campus resources for studying. Back at her apartment, Lauren's once safe and quiet space began to feel unsettling. She confided in her sister about strange occurrences, sensing someone moving things around and feeling watched, despite no signs of forced entry. On June 25, 2011, she emailed David expressing her concerns. David reassured her, attributing it to potential mischief rather than a genuine threat, given her focused study routine. Lauren also sent a mass message to friends, informing them of her intense study schedule for the bar exam and asking for understanding if she didn't respond promptly. In the following days, she maintained her routine of going to church, exercising, and studying. However, her lack of response to messages or calls didn't immediately raise alarm bells. Despite Lauren's friends and family's increasing concern over her silence, she remained unresponsive to their attempts to reach her. Caitlin, her sister, and Katie, her best friend, tried repeatedly to contact her, to no avail. Even Caitlin's honeymoon photos failed to elicit a response, indicating that something was amiss. Ashley, another student, received a call from Caitlin asking her to check on Lauren. Attempts to reach Lauren by phone proved futile as her calls went straight to voicemail. Ashley and her boyfriend went to Lauren's apartment and, using a spare key, entered to find her belongings scattered about. However, upon realizing that Lauren was supposed to move out the next day, their concern escalated. Lauren's purse, books, cell phone, and laptop were all left behind, suggesting she wouldn't have disappeared voluntarily. Ashley enlisted the help of friends and acquaintances in the complex, including Lauren's ex-boyfriend, Joe, to search for her. With no sign of Lauren, the decision was made to involve the police. Lauren's family embarked on a 12-hour journey to Georgia to aid in the search. When the police arrived at Bars Hall, they found no signs of forced entry, struggle, or theft. However, they shared the growing sense that something was amiss. Using luminol spray to detect blood traces, they found nothing, further deepening the mystery surrounding Lauren's disappearance. When luminol was used in Lauren's bathroom, the result was shocking. Evidence of a significant amount of blood, indicating a violent incident had occurred there. Police believed they were now searching for Lauren's body. On June 30th, while conducting an outdoor search, a strong gust of wind carried a foul smell towards them. Following the scent, they discovered a black bag containing a female torso near some bins. The officers were horrified by the grisly discovery, strongly suspecting it to be part of Lauren's body. The presence of the torso confirmed their worst fears, and testing later confirmed it to be Lauren Giddings. Despite the absence of signs of sexual assault, the medical examiner could not determine the cause of death. However, they believed Lauren had been killed and dismembered on June 26th. Meanwhile, investigators focused on Lauren's apartment, particularly the bathroom, for forensic examination. Despite signs of a thorough cleanup, luminol revealed traces of blood. Outside, the area was cordoned off, and efforts were made to maintain confidentiality regarding the discovery. As the investigation progressed, authorities were determined to uncover the truth behind Lauren's brutal murder and bring her killer to justice. The discovery of Lauren Giddings' torso confirmed the worst fears of authorities. The chief medical examiner found no signs of sexual assault, but couldn't determine the cause of death. The investigation intensified as her apartment, especially the bathroom, was meticulously searched for fingerprints and other evidence. However, only luminol detected traces of blood. Police were cautious not to alert any potential suspects within the complex, focusing on individuals closest to the victim, both romantically and geographically. Interviews were conducted with Ashley, Joe, and others involved in the initial search. David, Lauren's partner, was devastated and had a solid alibi, ruling him out as a suspect. Joe, Lauren's ex-boyfriend, was also quickly cleared. Suspicion turned to Stephen McDaniel, Lauren's next-door neighbor and fellow law student. Despite initially participating in the search efforts, Stephen's behavior became increasingly suspicious. He refused to help but loitered around, even speaking to the media about Lauren's disappearance. During an interview, Stephen displayed odd behavior, mentioning a possible break-in at Lauren's apartment and admitting to being a virgin. He was later found to be stockpiling food, energy drinks, and various weapons in his apartment. Additionally, police discovered condoms, which Stephen claimed to have stolen from neighboring apartments. Stephen's erratic behavior in proximity to Lauren's apartment raised red flags, leading to his arrest on unrelated burglary charges. Despite ongoing searches and interviews, no official suspects were identified. The investigation continued with meticulous attention to detail as authorities sought to unravel the mystery of Lauren Giddings' tragic death. During the interrogation, Stephen McDaniel displayed evasive behavior and provided inconsistent responses. Detectives pressed him for information, emphasizing the severity of the situation and the urgency to find Lauren Giddings. Despite being confronted with evidence and pressured to confess, Stephen maintained his innocence, repeatedly stating, "I don't know," or "I didn't do anything." As the interview progressed, Stephen's demeanor remained unnervingly still, prompting detectives to express frustration at his lack of cooperation. They highlighted his contradictory actions, such as speaking to the media about Lauren's disappearance while refusing to provide helpful information to the police. Further investigation into Stephen's apartment revealed disturbing findings, including a master key to access every room in the complex, packaging for a hacksaw, and flash drives containing graphic images and videos of children. Additionally, underwear belonging to Lauren was discovered, linking Stephen directly to her. Stephen's online activity, which involved frequent visits to Lauren's social media profiles and searches for violent pornography, suggested an unhealthy obsession with her. He had also written blogs detailing violent fantasies about torturing and killing women. Despite overwhelming evidence pointing towards his guilt, Stephen continued to deny any involvement in Lauren's disappearance and death. Detectives concluded the interrogation with a sense of certainty about Stephen's culpability, even though he refused to confess. They warned him that the truth would eventually come out, and he would face the consequences of his actions. September morning, when Stephen McDaniel's trial began, he appeared in court wearing a suit and tie, looking composed despite the gravity of the charges against him. The courtroom was packed with spectators eager to witness the proceedings unfold. As the trial progressed, the prosecution presented a compelling case against Stephen, outlining the evidence linking him to Lauren Giddings' murder. They highlighted Stephen's bizarre behavior, his obsession with Lauren, and the disturbing content found on his electronic devices. The underwear belonging to Lauren, discovered in his apartment, was presented as a crucial piece of physical evidence. Despite the circumstantial nature of some of the evidence, the prosecution argued that the totality of the circumstances pointed towards Stephen's guilt. They emphasized his access to the maintenance room, the purchase of the hacksaw matching the one used in the murder, and the incriminating content found on his electronic devices. Throughout the trial, Stephen maintained his innocence, with his defense team arguing that there was insufficient evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he was responsible for Lauren's death. They highlighted the lack of direct DNA evidence linking Stephen to the crime scene and questioned the reliability of some of the circumstantial evidence presented by the prosecution. Despite the defense's efforts, the prosecution's case was compelling, and the jury ultimately found Stephen McDaniel guilty of the murder of Lauren Giddings. The judge sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole, ensuring that he would never again pose a threat to society. The trial of Stephen McDaniel served as a reminder of the devastating impact of violent crimes and the importance of seeking justice for the victims and their loved ones. While the trial provided closure for Lauren's family and friends, it also underscored the need for vigilance and accountability in preventing such tragedies from occurring in the future. The revelation of Stephen McDaniel's guilt and the chilling details of his actions sent shockwaves through the community. The fact that he had been stalking Lauren and filming her on the night of her murder confirmed the suspicions many had harbored about him. The decision to seek the death penalty against him further underscored the heinous nature of his crime. Lauren's funeral, attended by hundreds of mourners, was a somber reminder of the loss suffered by her loved ones. However, the recovery of only her torso left lingering questions about what had happened to the rest of her body. As the trial approached and the prosecution prepared to present its case against Stephen McDaniel, a significant development occurred. McDaniel, facing overwhelming evidence against him, chose to change his plea and finally admitted to killing and dismembering Lauren. This admission, outlined in a chilling document known as an allocution, provided closure to the case and answered the lingering questions surrounding Lauren's death. Despite the guilty plea, the pain and grief endured by Lauren's family and friends would never fully heal. However, they found solace in the fact that justice had been served and that Stephen McDaniel would never again pose a threat to society. The words of Karen Giddings, Lauren's mother, captured the sentiment of many who sought closure in the wake of this tragic event. Her determination to see justice served and her unwavering strength in the face of unimaginable loss served as a testament to the enduring love she had for her daughter. The details of Stephen McDaniel's actions, as revealed during his guilty plea and sentencing, paint a disturbing picture of a deeply troubled individual. Despite initially denying his involvement, the evidence against him, including video recordings and his own admission, left little doubt about his guilt. McDaniel's account of the events leading to Lauren Giddings' death is chilling, showcasing the calculated and brutal nature of his crime. His plea deal required him to provide a detailed narrative of the murder, shedding light on the horrifying ordeal Lauren endured at his hands. The fact that McDaniel expressed remorse and acknowledged the severity of his actions may offer some small measure of closure to Lauren's family and friends. However, his attempts to justify his behavior and shift blame onto law enforcement highlight his lack of genuine remorse and empathy. Despite his appeals and attempts to challenge his conviction, McDaniel's fate was sealed with a life sentence, ensuring that he would never again pose a threat to society. His letter from prison serves as a reminder of the ongoing impact of his crimes and the lasting trauma inflicted on those affected by his actions. In the end, the case of Stephen McDaniel serves as a sobering reminder of the capacity for evil that exists in some individuals and the importance of seeking justice for the victims and their loved ones. The story of Stephen McDaniel and Lauren Giddings is a tragic and harrowing tale that left a lasting impact on all those involved. Despite the passage of time, the wounds inflicted by McDaniel's heinous actions continue to reverberate through the lives of Lauren's family and friends. McDaniel's guilt was ultimately established through a combination of compelling evidence, including his own detailed confession and disturbing online activities. While some of his supporters may continue to question the outcome, the overwhelming weight of the evidence leaves little doubt about his culpability. Lauren's memory lives on through the efforts of her loved ones. who have dedicated scholarships, memorials, and annual events in her honor. Her vibrant personality, unwavering determination, and penchant for bringing color into the world serve as a poignant reminder of the bright spirit she embodied. As the community grapples with the aftermath of this senseless tragedy, there is a collective resolve to ensure that Lauren's legacy endures and that justice is served. Through their ongoing efforts to honor her memory, Lauren's family and friends strive to keep her spirit alive and inspire others to embrace life with the same passion and vitality that she exemplified.